Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender, game designed by Salvatore Vasta, published by GMT Games. I'm Gen608. If you like my videos, please subscribe, hit the like button. The like button is really important to YouTube because that's how it decides when someone searches for Unconditional Surrender what videos they will get to see. This is the continuation of the C.U.C.U campaign, C.U.C.U for short. It stands for Cripple the UK, Collapse the USSR. My opponent is very well versed in this strategy and is schooling me on how it is done. We are getting ready to go into what are we? September of 1941, and we'll just go ahead and get started. Here we go. Nobody declared war. I think we're just doing our production stuff. Britain's at a grand total of 8. The Germans are at full at 28, and the Russians are down to 16. Now we go into strategic warfare, where it's +3 to +3 on the east. He went ahead and played his submarines, played them in Russia so that we knew it was going against them. He rolled a 7, I rolled a 1 +3, he have down to a 2, so the factory loss marker for the Russians goes up. And his submarines come back in 4 turns, and oh, and now it's +6 to 0 against the West, and he rolls a 10, so I'm already at 9, so nothing happens. Then he strategically moves. Who the heck is this? Strategically moves the Yugoslav garrison over here because he's. I mean, he's made a very deep penetration, but he's even with extra miners. He's kind of running out of bodies to fill in the line so he can keep attacking. So he's bringing people over for more for backstop. If I should somehow break around the corner of a line or something, I'd still have to, go through zones of control and stuff and not really get very far. West, I don't think I had one. Soviets. Did I move one? Nope. So we're into Axis operations, and here we go. The onslaught continues. He comes up here. He's trying to isolate Rezev here, but I think he's going to attack there. Starts off at +1 to my 0. We're going to combat commitment, which we both do. I play a tanks marker. He's an airplane. He went all in, everything he could play. So airplane and tanks marker. So now he's like at +5 to my +2. Of course, he rolls a 6, +5 is an 11, and I roll a 3. So I flipped, retreated. He takes the hex. Couldn't do any more because that was 6 movement points. And then he activates the next infantry to go after Rezev because now I am isolated. So he's going to start off at +3. That's me adjusting my willpower. I started at 51, I believe. And let's see. Before he starts, he goes, wait a minute, I want to play my surprise attack marker, which I thought was odd to play it here. But he realized that he should have played it before he did the first attack so that he would have gotten more benefit out of it. But he comes in. So now he's +2 for German, +2 for isolation, +1 for the surprise attack marker, -1 for the city. So he's already at +4 to 0. We go to combat commitment. Neither one of us committed because it just seemed pointless. And he didn't need to because he rolled a 6 +4, so he's got a 10. And I rolled a 2, which is a DD, so I'm flipped and removed. He goes ahead and takes it. So my willpower goes down 1 for the army and 2 for the city. then he moves up to, because that was 3, and then this is 4, 5, and then I think it's 6, 7, 8 to attack that one. And he's at, again, he's +2, +1 for the surprise attack mark. Should be -1 for the swamps. Yeah, so he's +2 to my -2 when we start. Go to combat commitment. He didn't commit again. There's no, or he did commit. He threw in his airplane again, I believe. But I don't see it going up a thing. I don't remember him actually committing on that combat. Okay, now we're down here. I think we moved to the south. So he captures Zorel because it was the only city down there, and if I tried to leave somebody there, it just would have gotten surrounded and killed. So rather than give him an army, free will point for the army, I said, you can have the 2 points for the city. I'm getting the heck out of Dodge. Up to this point, I've been doing very well. I'd only lost 10 armies, 10 will points to armies. But at some point, you have to try and hold some semblance of a line to be able to use in the winter months. And that's where I was trying to do here, and I probably should have just kept running, because I wasn't doing a very good job of stopping. So takes out a Rel, and I don't know if he keeps going. He's trying to think if that's the way he wanted to do it. That was us playing around trying to get undos to work, so it was. He's trying to make sure he had enough movement points to get there, which he did. Next up, German 12th Army, wherever it is. Let's see the 12th Army. Ah, there it is. Moves up there because now he's got isolated. So he's 2, 4 for isolation, 5 for the surprise attack marker, -2 for the river and the forest. So he's +3. To my 0. And neither one of us. Yeah, he committed airplane because he wanted to really just get rid of it. And he rolled a 3. So 1 plus 3 was a 4. I managed to roll a 3. 4 to a 3 is not a flip. Oh, because that's right. He should have been +5. So that was our mistake. That's why I'm flipped. And then he attacked again and rolled an 11. So with it. Takes it and moves up adjacent to Moscow. Then I was just counting, make sure that I had my counts right. So I was down by 6. What's he moving now? I'm not sure where we're at. Oh, he's attacking with the Panzer. He moved up to take on Tula because it's now isolated. So I decided to try and make the Panzer have to pay extra movement points. So I played my tanks, my last one. He rolled an 8, and I rolled an 8, so I at least made him attack twice. Then he comes in at +6, +5 to +2. He rolls a 6, so poof, away I go. So he's got basically he's destroyed the center of the Russian army. What little bit of it there was. And now I think he flies this up here. This is cutesy. You should pay attention to this, folks. Flies the airplane up so that it's within 3 hexes of Leningrad. Places the airdrop on Leningrad. Now, because I was unable to get the infantry unit to this hex right here, that's an important hex for the Russians. That's me trying to get the stacking to work. So I'm starting off at -2. And I didn't have any tanks left. So he is, he's 2 for German. Okay. And then 3-4 because I'm isolated. And I thought he played markers here. Maybe he didn't. So he was a 9 and then halved. So he became a net 5. And of course I rolled dismally, so I actually got flipped. And then he comes in with this. And we talked about whether he should throw in the fins. And when we did the math, we said if you throw in the fins, because this guy's 4 because of the isolation, the fin makes 5, airplane makes 6, 7. If the fin throws in their ground support, that's +8 minus 2 is +6. Minimum he can roll is a 7, have down to a 4, and I'm at -4. And that guarantees that there's not even a 1 in 36 chance that I can hold Leningrad. So, important thing to learn. If you think Leningrad's going to be taken, you can't use your tanks markers anywhere else. They're the only thing that gives you a chance to hold it. So that's us doing the counting, and it was like, that's automatic. Poof, it's gone. And he took it with the German, and I was like, why didn't you take it with the Finn? He's like, you're right. The Finn's probably better, because the German's going to want to move elsewhere. And now I think he's... Yeah, he's going after Volkov here. I don't have any defenses, so he rolls a 2+4 because he's... Why is he 2+4? I think he threw his airplane in. Yeah. And then he did it again. And finally I rolled a 2, so I had to retreat, so he takes another city. Puts the Italian out there so that he has, guess what, isolation again. Brings that Italian in there. And then this armored unit, let's go back. If you count, because this guy here doesn't have a zone of control, he can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And he still will be in supply because there's no zone of control blocking him to get onto this rail line and just go back into Germany. And that's what he did. Rather than, having the armor come up here and go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on an isolated unit, he's like, that's going to be there. I'm not too worried about it. This, because he took Leningrad already, now he just snarfed another factory. So he's taking me down 2 factories. So I'm down to 5 now. Which is, wow. Then I think we're going into the south now. This is where things get a little bit better for him. You'll see he's already done his... this guy here was done in by... God bless it. I don't know what he was done in by. Oh, I used him in defensive something somewhere, I think. Oh no, he flew up this aircraft, and then he's going after Rostov. So he's +2 for the aircraft, so he should be +3 to my 0. I don't have anything to play. He rolls a 5 + 3 is an 8. I rolled a 5, but that's not enough, so I'm forced to retreat. And I thought about it. I said, most people would retreat. Knee-jerk reaction is to go here, get behind the river. You can't do that in this case, because if you go behind the river, once he takes this hex, he can bring an infantry unit. If he takes an infantry unit up and sloughs off, he can get this guy cut off so he can't move or do anything. So the idea was to avoid isolation. give me flexibility on my half of the turn. And I lost another factory. So I'm down to 4 factories. I've got Moscow, Sevastopol, Stalingrad, and Granzi. That's it. All my 3 of my factories are in the south. And Moscow is basically surrounded and likely to, fall at some point here because I don't see any way to get anybody in there to keep it from being isolated. And he still had 2 movement points left. And he went ahead and attacked that guy, trying to set up the isolation, obviously. So he rolled a 5 plus 2. I rolled a 3, of course, so I have to retreat. And I said, okay, I'll retreat on this side of the river. And he was like, oh, okay. Now, it kind of leaves him open if he wants to go running to the south, but winter is coming, so if he really wants to go to the south, I'm willing to let him. At this point, he has Yugoslavs come in and grab that city because he doesn't want to lose it. Or no, he decided not to do that. Why did he not do that? I can't remember why he didn't move the Yugoslavs. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't understand. Okay. And this time he rolled a 2 plus 1, and I rolled a 1. So a 3 to a 1 flips me. It's like, this is insane. He rolled horribly, and I rolled worse. And then that was, from where he came from, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's 6, 7, 8. He rolls a 2, which is like, hey, I live. I rolled an 8 to his 2, so he should have been flipped, and he didn't flip. Oh, but I was minus 2, so I was at 4, actually. 2 to a 4. Then he brings in the Yugoslavs, and they get off 1 attack here, I think. And he rolled a 2 there, and doesn't really matter. He moved his Romanian up to get it on a fracking rail line because he's like, I'm tired of this guy sitting. He was sitting right here. And he's like, I can't rail him or anything. So he finally spent the Romanian point and just got him on a rail line so that he can move him around that way if he needs to. And now here come the Germans. I think they're just... I think that's us counting again. He was trying to figure out if he really wanted to go across the river or not. And he's like, bad weather's coming. I don't need to give you pot shots. Or did he? Yeah, he went ahead across the river and said, go ahead, I'll give you pot shots. I think this is us counting. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And at 28, 19 means you can bring down 3 airplanes. So I believe he stops here with the Germans. Yeah, now he moves up like Italian garrisons. And, nope, he did move up another German. So he should be down. Did I miscount? He should be down to 8. I think we counted again. So that puts you down to 8. He said, yeah, that's okay. He's going to shoot for 6, and he said, that way I move that infantry up, and I'm going to try and beat on the Russians in the Caucasus because it's the last fair weather turn for me to possibly be able to do that. He hasn't had the points in the past. So he attacks with the armored unit, and of course I'm going to defend with the aircraft. So it's plus 3 to plus 2. He rolls a 5, I roll a 5. So that was an 8 to a 7. Then he rolls a 4, and I rolled a 1 plus 2 is a 3. He goes, well, one last time. He rolled a 6, plus 3 is a 9. I rolled a 4, plus 2 is a 6, so I'm forced to retreat. Goes ahead and takes it and moves a Turk up. So And then he moved that Turk back so that he wouldn't be, his armor wouldn't be trapped. He wanted to be able to retreat it. He didn't want to have to flip it and have to spend points to replenish it. Now he's doing his supply sub phase. And so he just supplies all the people down here. And the two Germans in the, what do you want to call it? There's two Germans, one up here in Turkey, and then there's also one down here holding Basra. So that's what he's doing there. I don't know why we're up here in Norway. I don't know what we were talking about here. I think we were talking about the situation for the Russians because I'm down the extra factory. I lost Leningrad, which I'm not used to losing this early, and Yaroslavl, which I'm never used to losing, unless I'm, 42 sometime when I'm getting collapsed. And then Rostov it's usually taken in 41 in most of the games that I've seen. But I really don't have anything. It's me showing them. I only have 4 factors. And we were counting how many will points he could get off of me. If you look at my will point, I'm down to 32, I think. So I'm not doing well. Anyway, here's the British. I take my convoy that was over here threatening to be an invading convoy because I really can't afford to blow my offensive shit right before bad weather, because that means he won't have any reason to stay here on this front, and this armored would just come down and decimate the British, and I'm already at 11 will, so no. Not until I can come over in a little bit more force. So I decided to go try and do something else. And so I moved this guy because I had so few movement points on all my other stuff, because I have only 8 production points and I can't bring stuff back. So I went there and I went here and I said, "Do you want to intercept?" He said, "No." So we went into there. And then I took home fleet and brought it around. Said, "Do you want to intercept?" He said, "No." And then I said, "Okay, now I'm going to move the infantry. I'm going to move the BEF out." I was trying to get it to someplace like Gibraltar or maybe the South Atlantic so I could choose which way I wanted to go. And this is when he decides, what the heck, let's take a shot. So he's at +1 and I'm at +1. Because it's fair weather. He rolls a 4, +1 is a 5. Well, not too good. But I rolled a 1. So he gets 2 sorties on home fleet. And then he goes after the convoy, who is, it's +2 for British, -2 for convoy, -1 for sortie. That's why I'm a -1. And he's at 0. He rolls a 5. I roll 4 -1 is a 3, which is a DR, so I take 2 sorties. And I have to go back because it has to be the closest port, and that's the closest port on this sea zone that I own. So I went right back into Plymouth. And he's coming back in 3 turns. But he essentially foiled me putting the BEF anywhere that I might have wanted to do it, which was, annoying, to say the least. And now I believe we're into the Soviets. And there's not a lot I can do with the Soviets. I mean, I'm just basically... So I went ahead and moved this guy up to the river. What are we doing? I don't know where that guy came from. Move this guy back behind the river. And this guy came 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In case you can't see how. 1, oops, wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry for not moving things hex by hex, but we were running a little late this evening, so we kind of just, unless there was a question, we didn't bother to do counting by that. And then I was, I believe I was pretty much done. I had like 12 left, and on the card I've got 4 guys. This guy makes 5. This is 6, 7, 8. And I think that's all I did. Attacking somewhere? Was I attacking someplace? Oh, I know what I was doing. This is my patented save myself a will point. This guy was trying to attack this guy. Because he's +2 and I'm -2 for this, -1 for the weather, so I'm at -3 to his +2, trying to get an AA result. Because if you get eliminated while you're attacking, you do not lose a will point. And that's one of the things that you need to kind of think about with the Russians. Sometimes it's worth it taking a silly attack. So 4 -3, I did my part. I got a 1. But he didn't do his part. He only rolled a 1. He needed to roll like a 4 or better, I think, in order to eliminate me. So he'll get a will point for him next turn because he's going to go to low supply and he'll be -4. Then I just went ahead and did a silly attack here because we talked about this. He was like, you should just run away. I'm like, nope, I'm going to do this first. Just see what happens. I rolled a 5 -1 is a 4. He rolled a 4 -2 is 2, so he goes back 1. And I attacked him again. Only get 2 attacks, and he didn't. I rolled a 4 -1 is a 3. He rolled a 4 -2 is a 2, so he didn't move. And then I did move this guy back. I said, no, I'm not staying down there. I'm going up here. So I would have liked to have held the sphere, but with the fins active, you just basically have to back up. And I said, by stopping there, he cannot rail farther than this, which means this guy can just rail wherever I need him to go. I'm not sure where that will be next turn, but it'll just go somewhere where I need it to go. Okay, and now I think we're done with that. Soviets mark that guy for low supply, and everybody else is in supply. Nobody's removing things here in the no supply phase. Where are we at? The Axis is, of course, doing some airplane stuff. They brought down 2 airplanes, the one in the south, which is at 6, and the one sort of in the center that kind of covers most of this area in here. He brought it down, I think. And, of course, now he's doing his Italian convoys because Italians don't have anything else better to spend their points on. Yeah, we were talking about what I should have done. Anyway, I bring down this this thing, so I'm down to 9? Why am I at 0? I really don't understand why I'm at. I did the Western Allies, got my convoys down a bit. No upgrades. Mobilization for the Soviets, and I'm down to 0, and I'm putting out army has to go in Stalingrad. I'm assuming that he's going to get fair weather. Had to put an army there because the Romanians would just run over here. I mean, gives a point to the Romanians. Romanians run here. Romanians contain Sevastopol, and he gets a free 2 will points. You got to put somebody there. And then the other 2 was gotta defend the city, even though it's kind of a hopeless gesture. And then I thought about putting it in Kalinin, but I was like, this dude here, you know, can just make sure that he can open up a supply line by moving behind it. It'd be isolated if he doesn't take it. This guy probably will. Or he could even move to here first and not bother to attack it, and then have the infantry move out and isolate it, or have the Italian move first. He had tons of ways to isolate Kalinin, so I'm just pretty much saying 2, 4, 5 for the guy. Is just 5 more is going to go away. And then maybe I can, if I can get enough troops up here, maybe I can figure out an assault in the wintertime to get back Yaroslav and get back a factory. But and then I built my aircraft up there too, because that's where he has most of his aircraft, and I have like nothing up there. The third Russian aircraft is down here holding the Germans in the Caucasus. I mean, the armor seems like it's wasted down there, but I think in the long run it worked out just as if it had been coming in out of Romania, because he didn't use it but like 2 of the turns that he was coming in here. And I mean, it made me, I had to put an aircraft and an extra infantry here so I have a proper line, properly defended, because otherwise that armor just blows through and just, there's 2, 4, 6 will points and a factory here in the south that I can't really afford to lose. So that's one of the disadvantages of Turkey going to the Axis, which is what this whole C.U.C.U. thing is all about. You cripple the UK by coming down here. You have a massive Turkish, Italian, German push through the Middle East, end up taking Basra and Kuwait, and then Turkey opens up another, it gives 2 armies to the Russians, but it also opens up front that those 2 armies at least have to stay there. And if the Germans put a real unit here, like this armored, I had to put a 3rd infantry there. So, it made a difference. There was no diplomacy. We're going to end a turn here. I think we're just getting stuff back off the track here. I don't know what happens for the Russians. I get my tanks, I get my surface action back, and I get a couple shock armies to build. Woohoo. So I lost 5 armies this turn. So through Barbarossa, I lost 15 armies. However, in cities, I lost 5, 10, 15, 23 cities. So that's 46 in cities, and 15 is 61 points, I think. Where's my will? 61. Why do I have 60? I lost 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25 cities. I'm sorry, I can't count. I lost 25 cities, so that's 50 in cities, and 15 is 65. I think my national tracks is off by 1. Nope, it's at a 2. So, 97 minus 65 is 32. 32 going into the beginning of 1942, not a real good chance that you're going to hold up against a proper, with this kind of overwhelming force, even in the poor weather here in October and November, he's probably going to take, he could take as many as 1, 2. He's definitely going to get that one 3. Might get that one 4. So if in November, December, he picks up 4 more cities, that takes me down 8. That would put me at 24. Plus he's going to get an army, 23. We're going to assume these other armies get to retreat. So I'd be down at 23 going into 1942. Maybe I take one of those cities back. Maybe I even take 2 of those cities back in the winter. But in the summer of 42, he just bowls over me. So it's just a matter of how long I'm going to make him take into 42 to collapse me. I don't think there's a question that he will. It's just a matter of how long I can make him take to do it. Okay, that's pretty much, I think that's just about it. Yes, we roll the weather for the next turn. A 3, 4, 6. Where's the dang? There it is. Oh, stop popping things up on me. So a 3 in the cold is severe. The mild is poor. Wait a minute, where are we at? No, 3 is poor, I'm sorry. So we got a poor, we're here. So we got a poor, and then managed to get a severe in the warm zone where nothing matters anyway. So there we are. Oops, don't want to do that. So there you have it. That was September 1941 of the C.U.C.U. campaign. As always, I'm Dren608. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Hit the like button. That like button helps the algorithms in YouTube decide who gets to see these videos when they come searching for unconditional surrender videos. And until we meet again, stay safe and bye-bye.